Hello to all my viewers, this is Magicalamazing, and a couple days ago I reached 2,000 subscribers, and YouTube doesn't usually have anything to say about that. But I guess for me they must have made an exception because today I got this in the mail, a cardboard play button for 2,000 subscribers. I'm kidding, of course. I built this for this monstrous event that I never thought I'd be able to do. I got the idea for a cardboard play button from a YouTuber by the name of Cardboard Creations. His link is in the description. So I'd like to say thank you to all of you, and for 2,000 subscribers I figured I'd do a question and answer. Been getting a lot of questions, so let's get to it. So the first question I get asked a lot is, where do you live? Well, I live on the East Coast of the United States. I don't really want to get into too many details about who I am, but I do live on the East Coast. I'm also willing to say from the question, how old am I? I am 19 years old. So I don't really want to talk that much more about me, but there are other questions. One question I get asked a lot is, can I have a shout out? The short answer is no. I'm not really going to give people shout outs because if I give one person, then I have to give everybody, and that's not really fair. So that's my policy on shout outs. When it comes to my guns, a couple people ask, can you have one? Can you buy one? And again, short answer, no. I've put up these videos so you can see the guns that I've done, kind of a little interesting things about them, and the tutorials that I've put out and planning on putting out in the future, to build them yourself and to show that they can be done and it's not impossible. So another question on those lines is, well, if I do want to build it myself, can I have a template or measurements? And the short answer to that again is not really, unfortunately. I'd love to give you guys templates, measurements on the guns that I build, but I don't use them. I use reference pictures and I make it up as I go along. So some people say, alright, now I want to build this, so could you do it and do a tutorial? Make this, make that, and I might. I always welcome suggestions, but at the moment I have a project queue. So I have quite a few things that I'm working on, or that I plan on working on. So in all likelihood, I will not make a tutorial for a gun that I've already built. Namely, I've got quite a few requests to do an M9 tutorial, and I don't know if you guys know this, but that gun was a proof of concept, a prototype, if you will, that took me a long time to build. That was one of the longest things that it ever took me to build. Something along the lines of 40-ish hours. So there's no way, I very doubt that I could replicate that at all. Another thing is the Pip-Boy. Again, that took me 75 hours, so no way I can replicate that. If you guys want to see specific parts of how I build things, let me know, and I might be able to do that in a tips and tricks video. Now, people ask, what materials do I use? Now, aside from very few exceptions, like the rubber bands I use in my guns that have, quote, spring-loaded actions, and the dowel rod, wooden rod I used in my big minigun to keep the barrels from drooping, I only use paper, cardboard, hot glue, and tape. The barrels are all paper, so those of you who are asking, they're all paper, they're just rolled up and layered. Another question I get asked a lot about my guns is, how long does it take? It varies so widely, and it really doesn't correspond to size or even complexity in some situations. The Pip-Boy definitely took the longest, I'd say, at close to 75 hours. The M9 probably took second at close to 45. The big minigun, people think, oh, that must have taken a while. It really only took around 10 hours. The Hecate 2 took quite some time. The Intervention took quite some time. The Babyface's blaster didn't take long at all. The Metagun really didn't take that long either. It was the rest of the set that took time. Will I paint any of my guns? No, I won't. And if you're interested into the reasons, cardboard doesn't take spray paint very well. It gets wrinkly and the corrugation gets all strange. And acrylic is very shiny, generally, and it's just a hassle. In my opinion, leaving it the regular color of cardboard will leave more to your imagination, and it'll end up looking better. Another question I got a few times is, do they shoot? No, none of them in any way shoot. Aside from one of the paper guns, which you can blow into and shoots a paper cone. None of the other ones do anything. They're purely decorative. I'm not going to twerk for you. I got a couple questions about video games and computer and what do I play? Do I play CSGO? I have played it. I have the game. I play it every once in a while. And it's fun to an extent. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it is occasionally something I'll do. Do I still play Team Fortress 2? And if so, what classes do I main? Yes, I play TF2 a lot. I love TF2. One of my favorite games. I can't say I main any single class. I'll play pretty much whatever my team needs in pubs, and in competitive, I tend toward medic or soldier, but I also like playing in public games spy and sniper. I don't really like playing pyro, and I am a terrible demo, and NG doesn't really appeal to me. So I'd say my major classes: spy, sniper, medic, and soldier. To play all this, I had a couple questions, a couple private questions anyway, of what are my computer specs? Well, I'll link the specs, or I'll write them down in the description, but I have an ASRock Z97 Extreme 6 motherboard with an Intel i5 4690K central processor, overclocked to 4.2 gigahertz. I've got 16 gigabytes of G.Skill Ripjaw X Series DDR3 RAM. My storage is 1 terabyte WD Blue hard disk and a 240 gigabyte SanDisk Ultra SSD as my boot drive and for some of my games. I'm rocking a Zotac GTX 1070 graphics card, a Rosewell Glacier 500M 500 watt power supply, powers the whole thing, and it is all contained within a Fantex Enthoo Pro case. So, I'm sorry if this was a bit of a longer video, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little bit about what I do and me, and 2,000 subscribers, man, that's pretty cool. I hope to make some more videos. I hope you guys are enjoying them all. And this is Magicalamazing, signing off till next time. See y'all later.